Also holds capital punishment. They don't call them death row anymore because they're out in general population.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hello YouTube. Alright, let's go to Potosi. Potosi is a punishment camp. I think I said this in another video. And you usually do 9 months when you get sent there for doing something in another camp. It also holds capital punishment. They don't call them death row anymore because they're out in general population. The craziest thing. But they don't do the executions there no more because the guards were getting upset because they said they was getting to know some of the prisoners and then they being executed, you know. So they hold them in Potosi, but they take them to Bonterra, another prison, to execute them. All because the CO is feeling bad. Yet, if like one time an officer died during a motorcycle wreck, and they tried to pass out black ribbons. I wouldn't take one out of principle because they don't wear black ribbons when a prisoner's being executed, you know. Plus, it's the badge convict thing, you know. Anyway, when they take you to Potosi, it's out in the middle of the country, a small town, but it's out in the middle of the country, away from the town, surrounded by woods, and it's on a hill. You can kind of look down if you're in the yard and see these fields and stuff. They drive you into this tunnel, and the gate closes behind you, and they have you give out and put your hands against the wall. And they pat you down and all that, and they talk crazy to you, you know. Then they take you to the hole, because that's usually where you're going, you know. If you're there for disciplinary action from another prison, you're going to the hole here. And the thing of it is, they had these two officers there that like to torment the prisoners, harass them. While they was at recreation, they'd go in and as if they're searching and put razor blades and stuff in there, and then when you come back from recreation, they'll come and say, need to do a cell search, and then they'll find this razor blade. I think they finally got caught doing that. You know, a lot of people was following on that. But anyway, you're doing your 9 months in the hole, and it's a step-up program. You go to another wing in another house where you get a little bit more freedom. You get your property, basically. I think you get out for like an hour in the wing. And after you're there for a couple months, they put you in the other wing of the housing unit. All the housing units only have 2 wings. You get a little bit more rec and stuff, you know. And you finally work your way up to population. They got 2 housing units that's in population. There's only 6 housing units in the whole prison. 800 prisoners. And I say prisoners because I don't like the word inmate, although some prisoners are inmates. And I don't use convict because there are some prisoners that are not convicts. It's just simple as that. You guys, I'm sure you know the differences. But anyway, 6 houses population. And even there, one side has more recreation than the other one, you know, gets to go to the yard more. And then 5 houses, the honor house. And that's where they had video games and stuff until Matt Blunt, the governor, decided to take them out. Said it was a punishment camp and we did not need to be enjoying ourselves playing video games. They also had video games in the gym. He said, my kids play video games all day. And now we got prisoners doing it. The kids probably watch TV too. You're gonna take the TVs away? You know, what you're saying didn't make sense. But 6 House was the honor house. And the weird thing about Potosi is if all the housing units and the medical and all this and all, they're all connected. On one side they had the 2 in population, on the other side they had the whole, which is like, you had the housing unit for those with mental problems. You had 3 House, which was the whole, 2 House, which was PC, and then 1 house was long-term segregation. You know, they're spending a year or more there, and they're usually getting in trouble there. My first cellie when I got out to population to 6 House was a guy that was scheduled to be executed. And I think I mentioned in another video where I told him that, you know, what's to stop you from waking up one day and deciding that, you know, you're going to die anyway, so you might as well take as many out as you can. Guess who you see first? And but he said that everybody that was scheduled for execution was medicated, and they give them meds, and that they was more laid back than those of us with life sentences. And which, come to find out, that ended up being true. My second cellie I had there that was a capital punishment, or CP, he had 3 of them. 3 death penalties on him. And he seemed to be under the illusion that he was going to beat him. If I remember correctly reading after I got out, I don't think he won, you know, I think they executed him. But, you know, I told him, I said, I wish you the best of luck on that, but don't you think your chances are slim? He said, well, yeah, but he thought he had evidence to at least overturn the death penalty, you know, and get it reduced. But when I was in 6 House, they brought this guy in from Pacific. Pacific is a lower level camp. And the reason they brought him in was because he had tried escaping from Pacific, him and I think a couple others. And he said this female guard that was in the tower shot one warning shot and then shot him through the stomach area, you know, through the back, came out the stomach. And I probably shouldn't have said what I'm getting ready to tell you I said, but he said they had to replace a portion of his intestine, you know, that's plastic. So I tell him, I said, well, I bet you there's one thing for sure. And he said, what's that? I said, you won't have the guts to do that again. Well, yeah. And, you know, people around there, they laughed about it, you know. But he just kind of gave a short chuckle, but he said, man, that's really messed up, you know. And you're an asshole, you know. And if I said something wrong, hit me in my shit. My lip's not bleeding. I just checked. But I couldn't help but say that. And you know, I think about that sometimes. I probably shouldn't have said that. It was probably out of line. And then there was this guy I used to work out with. And he had escaped from Georgia with another guy. And they broke into a house and tied some people up. And they made their way to Missouri. And they had a shootout with the cops. They was in this trailer. And one day, one of these old heads came to me and said, Harvey, let me talk to you a minute. He said, your buddy over there, he's a rat. And I said, oh yeah? He said, yeah, he gave evidence against his partner. I said, well, he said he was doing all the shooting in that house and you know, that trailer, and that they, because his partner was injured. He goes, no, his partner was doing the shooting, and he had a white shirt stuck out waving it like it's a surrender. He said, don't do anything right now. He said, don't say anything to him. Just act on like you're still messing with him, rocking with him. He says, my friend and partner in Jeff City knows his partner. He said he's going to send all the information. And sure enough, he did. So, me and the dude, we go over to him, and we said, hey, I said, you told me that you was the one shooting in that trailer and that your partner was injured. He said, yeah, that's true. I said, now how come he's saying something else, He goes, I don't know. I said, in fact, you need to read this. And so we showed him paperwork, right? And he goes, oh. I said, man, dude, just stop, So I just walked away. The old head, he tells him, he says, you need to go to PC, and we can't have you out here. So I guess he did. But then there's this other guy that was, nobody checked his paperwork. He didn't have that look, you know what I mean? Some people have those cases and they have this particular look, and he didn't have this look, so nobody, he claimed to hate those cases. But he kept going on about people like that. I mean, over and over, that's all he talked about all day. So one of the two things is happening here. Either something happened to a child in his family, or he's lying, and he is one. One of the guys that I worked out with got suspicious and had his family look him up. Back then, they had to send the information out, and then they had to look him up. So they come back, yeah, he was had one of those cases. Off he goes to PC. And one time, here's another story that I couldn't figure it out for nothing, and I was almost about ready to blame the guy I was smoking with. I went out to the yard to work out, and this guy that I worked out with, he said, man, let's work out later, man. He said, I want to smoke one. He said, let's go smoke one. I said, okay. So we went to this bench as far away from everybody we could get, and we smoked this joint. And we was talking about what was sitting there, and how good it was, that it wasn't bad. And that night, I got dropped on. They came by around midnight, told me to piss for them. Piss in a little container, Not that I was really going to piss for them anyway, but I couldn't because this guy had his face right down there where my 3-piece was at. I told him, I can't do this with you that close, dude. He goes, well, I'm just making sure, because some people run a tube from a bottle along the penis and it's got somebody else's urine in it. I said, you want me to just lift everything so you can check? What the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, they give you 2 hours to do it, and I didn't. And what I didn't know is that's the same as dirty. That means not only am I going to the hole, I have to go through this drug thing, the drug class. But I got extremely lucky in that the caseworker, I don't know whether intentionally or on accident, forgot to tee me. So I get to arguing with the guy I smoked with. I said, man, you and I were the only ones there. Who'd you tell about it, Or did you say something? He said, man, I didn't say nothing. I said, it's not making any sense. And he said, well, I got dropped on too, same night you did. He ended up going to the hole when he got teamed though. And I said, well, something ain't right, So one night, Well, it wasn't night, it was in the evening. And this guard was escorting me over to the other side, to where medical and stuff was at. And this guard in this tower that's in the center of the prison leans out with what looks like a microphone like thing, like a bullhorn. Like I said, CO, I said, what the hell is she doing? Aiming that thing at us. And he goes, she's listening to our conversation. I said, oh really? He goes, yeah. He goes, people on the yard, we listen to their conversation all the time. And then it hit me. And that's how they found out. We was over sitting, smoking that, passing it back and forth. They probably saw us passing it back and forth, and they aimed that thing at us, and saw what we was talking about. I went and told a few other guys. They said, yeah, we already knew that, you know. You're an idiot if you're talking out there in the yard about something you're not supposed to be talking about. So I said, well, I didn't know. Anyway, that's about all I have for you today. You know, about Potosi. Oh, the visiting room. On the visiting room, most visiting rooms in most prisons, at least in Missouri, are on the edge of the prison, you know, at the edge. This in here is in the center. Like I told you before, all the buildings are connected. Your people come in, they go up, they kind of go across, and then they come down, and they're in the middle of the prison. Everything's electronic, you know, you just can't open the door and walk in or anything, you know. Even in the visiting room bathroom, you know, somebody, like a visitor uses the bathroom, they gotta hit this button and then wait for the people in the bubble of the visiting room click the door so they can get back out. It's really, and all doors like that throughout Potosi's like that. Everywhere you go, you gotta hit this button, let you in. I need you to hit that subscribe, hit that like, notification bell, all that. Share this video if you like it, and please comment, because I always try to answer all the comments. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching.